Hello, crafty chicks. This is another premiere video, which means I pre-recorded this video and I am speeding it up just a little bit so that it's a shorter length video. This one is about 15 minutes long. And when it hits on YouTube right now, it is live. And I am in the comments with you chatting about what we're doing here. So I'm working on that same book that I started a week or two ago here on YouTube. We got the outside done. It's made from a junk envelope, like a mailer that I got in the mail, some things I got in the mail from a padded envelope, and I made the cover out of that. And now it's time to put the signature in. I'm going to do one signature. This signature is made up of a combination of the printables that I gifted to the club members, the Craft Therapy Club members, printed out, a few pages from the November printables in the Craft Therapy Club, and just some random things that I had on hand, like napkins and burlap and things like that. So it's a combination of those. I've also done some chalkature on some of these pages, so some of these pages are chalked. The signature is all ready to go, and I've got to figure out how to get this clipped. So I'm going to make a template so that I have the marking spots not only for the signature but for the cover, to make sure that those holes all end up in the same place. So I'm going to start by punching the holes in the signature only, and it's actually a rather thick signature. Some of the pages have fabric on them, so it's rather thick, but it didn't take me too much to get through those. Now I'm also going to do the same. I want to get through the cover itself, which has a layer of fabric, washi tape, and that corrugated cardboard, or that padded envelope that came from the junk mail envelope. So it's actually kind of thick. It has several layers there. So I'm marking the spots. I'm just going to put an initial hole down on the desk through the pad, and now I'm picking it up and I'm pushing further in to make the hole a little bigger. The awl that I'm using, the pokey tool that I'm using, it is really nice. It has a very tapered pointer on it. It's tapered so that the hole can be more narrow toward the tip, and then as you go up the shaft of the tool, it gets thicker, and that will come into handy in a few minutes. When I try to get this ribbon through the holes, I find out that it's a little too thick. It's beautiful. It's satin round ribbon. It is really beautiful. It's off-white and very shiny and pretty. Perfect for this little book. When I try to get it in, the needle goes through, but I cannot get the two layers of the ribbon through here. So what I end up having to, I try both ways to get it through. I try to wiggle it. I try to use needle nose pliers to get a really good grip on that needle and pull it through. It just is not coming through. And I thought, well, we better go back to the pointy tool, the awl, and push it a little further into the holes so that the holes are bigger than I originally poked them. And I did that. I did it on the cover only, thinking I could easily get through the papers, and then found out that no, I was not going to get through the papers with that ribbon either. So I just had to go and make all of the holes a little bigger. I'd rather start with smaller holes and make them bigger if need be, because if the holes are too big for the material you're putting through them, the signature pages will be floppy inside your book, and I do not like loose and floppy pages inside a book. So I would rather go small, try it, and if I need to make it bigger, I'll make it bigger, and that's what I did. So that's what you saw there. Now, I'm only doing a 3-hole, so that's pretty simple, pretty easy. Get that through the 3-hole and then tie it. I think here I decided I needed more of the ribbon on that one side, on the right side. So I was just pulling it through and making sure that all of the strings throughout the binding were really tight. So I double check several times, as you can see, and it is so pretty. I love the way it looks on the outside of this book. Now on the inside of the book, I'd flip through, make sure all the pages are standing the right way. Nothing's upside down. Make sure that my string is nice and tight, my ribbon. And I'm going through, and I wanted to see, I probably want to do a little bit more to this book. I had chosen this printable from a kit that I have in one of my membership groups that I belong to. So I grabbed this kit. I think it's from the graphics, I'm not going to say. I was thinking maybe the graphics variant. I think it's the Little Women kit. But anyway, I'm sorry if I misspoke on that, but I think that's where this is from. This girl cut out around her so that there's no background, and I'm going to find the right page to put her on. I think she's really nice here. The green in her dress really pulls out the color of the green botanicals on the left hand side of that page. So we're going to put her on this page, and it's just something decorative, something bold and beautiful and decorative for the pages. And then I'm going to come up to the front here. I think I want to do a pocket in the front, and you're going to see me playing around with the papers to figure out what is the best paper to use. How high do I want the pocket? What am I going to put in the pocket? So you're going to watch me do that for a few minutes. While I'm here chatting with you on the voiceover, I am in the comments while this is live on Friday, January 12th. So if you are there in the comments, please ask your questions if you have them, or chat with me about, anything that you're curious about with this process, or whatever you want to talk about. I'm thrilled to chat with you guys in the comments here while it's live. And if you're catching this after it has premiered live, still want to hear from you. I would love to hear in the comments where you're coming in from. Please say hello. Let me know that you stopped by and what value you got from watching this process come together. I'm only going to glue the 3 edges to make this a pocket. I took this from one of my collaged pages for my paper scraps. And I will end up putting quite a few clips on this to make sure that all of those parts that are glued stay down. I didn't originally, but then I decided I better clip them to make sure everything stays in place. Now, these little piece of paper, really, really cute. One of the Crafty Chicks sent them to me in Happy Mail, and they're really darling, and they're just pretty. They're really pretty. So, but there was a little bit of white edge on some of the pages, so I was just clipping that off to get the white edge, to do away with the white edge. I'm going to put those on the inside for now until that pocket is nice and dry, and then I'll put it there. That extra piece of the pocket paper, stuck it on the right hand side just as a little embellishment. Now this page, the lace on the left hand side, that is literally lace glued down on the page just to add a decorative element. I don't love the lace on its own, so we're going to cover it up. So here I'm just trying to decide what to cover it up with. You'll see me playing with some papers and pulling out some supplies to see what we might want to cover up that lace with, something that would coordinate with the snowman on the right. Now, I was trying to decide, do I want to cover the snowman? Do I want to do this little flip here? I don't know. Sometimes this is the creative part that I really enjoy, actually, but it takes me a few minutes to figure things out sometimes. So I head off camera. You may see my hands kind of disappeared there. I head off camera to I wanted to hunt down my embossed papers because I have a big envelope full of embossed papers that are really beautiful. So I head on over to the other side of the room and grab the embossed papers so that I can find one that might just work for this page. So here I'm hunting through, and I find this really pretty blue one that actually mimics the background in the sky on the right hand side, the snowmen. Their background is a pretty blue sky, and it really matches this embossed paper. So what I decided to do in the end was to make this little notepad. So I folded that long piece of embossed paper over on the top to make a top fold for a handmade notepad for writing. And now I'm going to cut this paper down to 3x7, all of them 3x7, or just about 3x7. And then we're going to, I'm not going to glue them in. I'm going to sew them into the embossed paper cover and then glue that down on the page. So I'm going to just step away from the mic for a minute and let you watch me put this little notepad together. This is a great little addition for your books. It's just a great little addition because you can always use a little writing space, a little extra paper. And these little handmade writing notepads are pretty easy to make, and they're super organic, and you can get really creative with them. So if you haven't made one before, maybe give that a try. Add that to the list of things you might try in your next junk journal. Okay, and here comes Babsy, my little sewing machine, to help me just sew the top. Rather than just glue it, I thought sewing the top of this book would be just a nice little addition, adding the bit of thread, adding the stitches. I love adding those little details into a book. I think it makes them very special and can add something very interesting to the pages. Now, my thread got a little jammed there, so I'm trying to unjam it and get off the extra threads, and we'll try again. All I do here is add 3 straight stitches down the length of this, just a few times, 3 times, so that there are 3 strands or 3 lengths of stitched thread down the top of this little notepad. It's a cute little detail. Very simple. And then you're going to watch me. I'm just going to glue that top end. I don't glue the whole thing, but just that top, like 1-inch part of it that I just stitched. I'm going to glue that heavily. Put a lot of glue on that top part of it so that it is secured on the page. And now that lace page, it was a blank page. I don't like blank pages, so I added the coffee stained lace, and that, although it was a great background, I didn't want that to be the end of this page. So adding this little notebook on top of that is a really nice addition to this page. Really happy with the way it turned out. So again, a little flip through to see, is there something else I could add or something else I can do? Now this page on the left-hand side, that's a napkin, and it's a winter themed napkin with pine cones and snow, and it's really, really busy and dark. So I decided to take one of these really pretty strips of paper and glue it down just on 3 sides so that I make a little tuck spot on this page. So it really takes away a lot of that bold dark green and brown napkin, and that dark green and brown napkin becomes the background to that tuck spot now. And so that I ended up really liking. That worked out really well. And now I'm just flipping through to see if there's anywhere else that I want to add any detail or change the feel of those pages. And I think we're in good shape. These fit in here perfectly. It's quite amazing. And I'm going to leave those clips on so this little thing can dry. And I think I'm almost done with this. I decided on this one other page. It's brickwork. Patterned brickwork that I had chalked on. I used Chalkator to chalk on patterned brickwork on that paper. It's a cardstock paper. And I used a piece of embossed paper to create a little tuck spot there. And then I'm going to paperclip. I added some green, not paperclip, staples. I added some green staples to the corners of that just to add, again, it's a little metal embellishment, a metal detail. Thanks for being here with me today. I hope you guys have a very blessed day.